Coming up, I'm going to be talking about the second season of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, Disney Plus in France, and much more. But before we get into any of that, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi everyone, it's Roger here from whatsondisneyplus.com. It's Tuesday, it's time to jump into some of today's big Disney Plus news. Let's start off with the big one. It has been revealed that Josh Duhamel will be joining the upcoming second season of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. He's going to be replacing Emilio Estevez. There's going to be a new character in the second season, because unfortunately Emilio is not going to be returning. This was due to a conflict between whether or not he would give them access to his vaccination records. He then went on to say that it wasn't that, it was due to creative differences, and so they've kind of rewritten the character and brought somebody new in. Josh will be playing a brand new character called Gavin Cole, who is described as an inspirational, charming and hardcore, as he is big on the hockey metaphor that applies to life. He runs the super intense Summer Hockey Institute where the Mighty Ducks land for season 2. Josh has also previously starred in the Transformers movie, and I think this is going to be great. I loved him in those movies, pretty much like him in everything he's been in, and I think this is actually pretty cool casting to kind of set this series off into a new direction. Whether or not we get any like cameos from other previous members of the Mighty Ducks, who knows, it wouldn't be at all surprised if we do that. Gonna have everybody else returning for the second season, including Laura Graham and also Bradley Noon, which is great. We don't yet know when it's going to be arriving on Disney Plus. I'd imagine it's probably going to be maybe next year now, unless they can get filming done very, very soon. But yeah, so this one's definitely good on the second season of the Mighty Ducks. And as I said, I think that's actually a pretty cool casting choice for myself. But let me know what you think of this in the comments below. 20th Television's comedy series Maggie will now be debuting on Hulu in the United States. As a Hulu original, it was originally going to be on ABC. And then it's also going to be released as a Star original on Star Plus and on Disney Plus internationally. Based on the short film Maggie, it follows a young woman trying to cope with life as a psychic. Maggie regularly sees the fate of her friends, parents, clients and random strangers on the street, but when she suddenly sees a glimpse of her own future, Maggie is forced to start living in her own present. It's interesting that this show is now shifted over from ABC to Hulu in the United States. Obviously internationally, not much of a difference, it will just arrive on Disney Plus. Now whether or not that's a sign that it's maybe skewing a little bit younger and that's why they want it on Hulu, or that maybe it's not quite right for ABC, who knows, but we're going to have to wait and see on this one. But let me know if you're looking forward to Maggie. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. It's also been revealed that ABC Signature Studios is creating a brand new series called Saint X. It's a psychological drama told in multiple timelines and perspectives, which explores and upends the girl gone missing genre. It's a show about a young woman's mysterious death during a Caribbean vacation, which caused a traumatic ripple effect that eventually pulls her surviving sister into dangerous pursuit of the truth. Saint X will be released on Hulu in the United States, where it's been given a 8-episode series order, and then it'll be released on Star Plus in Latin America, and then everywhere else it'll be available on Disney Plus. Again, just showing how Disney Plus is just continuing to grow around the world with all of this content coming in from all of the different studios. Things are really revving up now. But let me know what you think of Saint X in the comments below. Been some big changes in France this week because a new contract has come into place with regards to how quickly movies arrive on to streaming services after they've been released. Up till now, new movies haven't arrived onto like Disney Plus after 3 years of being released. So they're still waiting on Avengers Endgame to arrive on Disney Plus. The new rule will now mean that they can go onto like streaming services after 17 months. That's quite a bit of a drop. But then they're going to have to be removed at a later date to be put onto free TV. And also they can't put them on straight away because they're going to have to go onto like Canal Plus about 6 months after they've been released. So this is really kind of quite restrictive on Disney. Disney didn't want to sign this agreement. So there's a lot of speculation that Disney will actually just start releasing everything directly onto Disney Plus, so they have full control over their content, which I kind of get. You know, if you're having to kind of sell it off to another company for like the original pay one window, and then you're going to have to put it onto free TV, and you can't have it on your own platforms which you've created, I definitely can see how that is a conflict for Disney. Obviously there are some issues that Disney might not want to upset things too much, because they have got Disneyland Paris in France, so they have to kind of worry about that. But at the same time, I wouldn't be at all surprised if more releases now go straight to Disney Plus in France than going through this new system. Netflix has agreed to a deal, but they'll get it a little bit earlier, but they're funding a lot more content within France. And also there's a deal as well that sort of all the money that like Disney Plus makes in France, 20% of it has to go back into creating new content in France. So there's a lot of new shows being created by Disney in France, but this is just all this big thing of local restrictions can cause problems. And it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward with Disney Plus in France with these new restrictions. Will they carry on with the way they are? My big worry with this one is this new sort of contract. To me, it's very much based on what it was like pre-pandemic, of big blockbusters, loads of money coming in, it was fine. You're starting to look at like movies now, if they're not making enough money at the box office and then they're not going to get access to it, you know, for a long time on Disney Plus, and then they're going to have to take it off at some point to put onto free television. It's like, is it actually worth the cost of putting it into cinemas? I know why France wants to protect its cinemas, but at the same time, you know, things are changing so quickly, and it's a very tricky situation. Like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Earlier today, I asked our subscribers, do you watch National Geographic content on Disney Plus? 7% of you said all the time. 54% of you said occasionally, and 40% of you said never. It's not a huge surprise to me to see so many people not watching National Geographic content, and how so many people are only watching it occasionally. I definitely feel like it's an area on Disney Plus that doesn't seem to have kind of connected with its core audience. I think that's primarily due to Disney Plus originally, when it launched, appealing to sort of younger people and families and stuff, and National Geographic didn't maybe fit in that in the same way. But hopefully, as more content gets added, especially internationally, you know, we're becoming much more used to watching different content. I really enjoy the National Geographic movies and documentaries myself. The Rescue's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the upcoming Fawn, which is coming in about 2 weeks. So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff coming. But I always just wondered, you know, I always tend to see with our National Geographic content that I produce about new shows and stuff, generally the interest is much less than anything else. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this in the comments below. On yesterday's Disney Plus news, I got asked a question by Yayboy about whether or not I agree with the shutdown of the Disney channels on the international market, because Warner Brothers haven't actually shut down like channels like the Cartoon Network, and Yayboy thinks that Disney should invest more in the Disney Channel with things like Secrets of Sulphur Springs. And for me, I definitely look at this in a very different light. I completely understand why Disney have been shutting down their channels around the world, because generally kids just don't watch television in the same way that I did. You know, they don't have to sit there at a certain time and watch something. They can watch it whenever they want, and they've grown up with that. So the idea of sitting down at a certain time and watching something, you know, if they don't like that show, they want to watch the one they want to watch. They don't want to watch and wait 20 minutes for the thing that they want. And so they've kind of grown up differently. I also do agree that maybe having a Disney Channel with stuff being repeated and stuff makes sense on some platforms and in some countries where maybe internet is not as good. But it's all down to costs. If, you know, you've not got enough viewers watching it, is it financially worth running that channel? And I think sometimes, you know, the business element sometimes gets missed in terms of like people that haven't got it. And ultimately, most of the time, these networks are on like paid services anyway. So you're through like Sky, so you're going to have to pay for it. Also, with Warner Brothers, they're very much more mixed up with the idea that they've kind of in the middle of a merger right now, so they probably can't make any big new moves like shutting down channels. And also, like, they haven't launched in as many countries. For example, they can't launch here with HBO Max until 2025 due to an existing agreement with Sky. So it's not quite as easy for them to launch as it's been for Disney Plus. But yeah, so I know the closure of channels is always something that's really kind of hits people. And I think sometimes a lot of it is down to nostalgia rather than necessarily what they're actually doing. But yeah, it's just going to be a trend I can see, especially, and kids television has just been plummeting even before Disney Plus. It's just the viewership is just dropping year on year, and it's probably getting to that point where it isn't worth it. And also with regards to like creating new content, I completely agree with the idea of making content for Disney Channel. You just share it. You know, Secrets of Sulphur Springs, you put it on both platforms, and you make some movies like the new Big City Greens musical movie, put it on both. So you can kind of, it's not necessarily original in countries with Disney Channel, but everyone can watch it. And I think that's probably maybe the better way of looking at this Disney Channel content right now. Everything should be a little bit more shared so more people can enjoy it, because I don't really like either person not getting it. But nevertheless, that is today's Disney Plus news. Remember to go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow and subscribe, and I shall see you guys in another video. Laters. I'd like to thank all of our Patreon and YouTube channel members for their support. You can become a member from as little as $2 a month, and you get access to our weekly Q&A and much more.